At the end of Mortal Kombat 11, people couldn't wait for what's next. Today, people can't care less and are sick and tired of Mortal Kombat. They're not looking forward to anything related to it. This game will kill the franchise, and time will prove it. I'm sure a lot of you are expecting me to say, "I told you so," but truth be told, I get no pleasure from any of this, I really don't. Mortal Kombat is one of my personal favorite franchises, if you can tell, and I think it's an absolute disgrace what has happened to it. And after Mortal Kombat 1's Khaos Reign, a brand new DLC that, by the way, right now if you were to look it up on Steam, has a total of 100 reviews, all of them overwhelmingly negative. Surprise, surprise, it didn't sell very well. So it's leaked that David Zaslav, the head of WB, the man who has done for gaming what Joe Biden has done for the American economy, decided that enough is enough, and he's told NetherRealm to cut the cord of Mortal Kombat 1. Basically, now Mortal Kombat 1 is in the exact same position of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They are gonna finish any content that is already made, they're gonna release it, and as soon as they're done with that, they're gonna stop all support for the game and move on to something else. And it's such a funny thing because the reason NetherRealm fights themselves in this situation is because of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. If you remember back to 2023, after the disastrous reception of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's final trailer, right before it was supposed to come out, David Zaslav, the most unintelligent human being to ever run anything in history, decided, you know what? People don't like this game, so I know what we'll do. We're not gonna fix it by any means, we're not gonna change any of the things people don't like, we're just gonna delay it. However, that genius thinking from Zaslav has a fatal flaw in it, because WB are already losing their asses on every other project they're doing because the person running the show is a complete and total idiot, an imbecile, someone who has no brain. If he ever gets shot, I hope it's in the head, that way nothing important will ever get affected. But anyways, David Zaslav, right, someone who I particularly don't like, decides, I know what we'll do, we'll rush Mortal Kombat 1. We're not gonna let them fully develop it. No, we need money and we need it right now. So he, by himself, decides in a meeting to announce that Mortal Kombat 1 is coming late 2023. Now keep in mind, they're doing that. NetherRealm has not announced anything. They haven't shown a trailer. They haven't done anything. Just the guy decides, oh yeah, they're gonna be making a game they're releasing in 2023. Game's not even announced yet. So that's the level of competence you're dealing with when it comes to these people, right? So anyways, Mortal Kombat 1 comes out, and as you can imagine, it's like 6 to 8 months early. So the game is a mess. If you were, much like myself, one of the lucky people to get your hands on the game pretty much day one, you know what it was like, especially on PC. Broken, unfinished, glitchy, a complete and total mess. Even on the best systems, even with the best GPUs, the best CPUs, you would be struggling to ever reach 60 FPS, let alone hold it. And better yet, key features in the game are just missing, like the tutorial. You can't tap on moves to basically pin them to the screen so you can learn combos, meaning that every character is 10 times harder to learn because you can't just see what you're supposed to do, you have to memorize it, maybe write it down. That's a feature that's been in fighting games since fighting games pretty much, and it's gone, it's nowhere to be found, right? That should tell you right there the game is rushed. But even looking past that, one of the funniest things I've seen, it is so incredibly funny, is the things that Mortal Kombat YouTubers, like, I'm gonna name them in just a second, some of the things they say, and I'm sure these are nice guys, I'm sure they're nice people, they're not assholes or anything, so I don't mean to bury them, I don't mean to go after them, but some of the things they've said, some of the dumbest, most unintelligent things you will ever hear. Maximilian Dude, who I'm sure is someone a lot of people love, he's a very popular guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but some of the things he says, my goodness, you would think, where is your brain, my guy? But again, you have to understand with these guys specifically, they are so blind. They have no vision whatsoever. They're like horses. They have the blinders on, like they can't see anything outside of like their core little vision. So the problem with guys like Maximilian, dude, they're completely limited to their own perception. They can't see outside of themselves. They can't see the forest for the trees, like they say. So they're judging MK1 entirely based on other fighting games, not realizing that MK1 has nothing to do with other fighting games. He's talking about, well, you know, there's no lobbies, there's not enough lobbies, people can't find lobbies, and the waiting time for online matches is too much, and, you know, people, you can't train and meanwhile search for a match.
And I've played this shit since it came out. My dudes, you have seen that opening default stage menu thing where it says like connecting to matchmaking? Your ass has been looking at that for like a year. You have spent days of your life with that menu open looking for ranked matches and doing nothing else. And you just have to look at that shit and you don't get to, there's no matchmaking during this, there's no matchmaking during that, you cannot train, you can't do any of that shit, dude. I cannot open a lobby and just have people join it. Like, it is specifically by invite only. It is specifically by, like, accommodation. You have to go find the person, get them, put them in.
The equivalent of that is being served a pizza with a giant piece of dog shit on top of it and complaining that the crust is too soft. That is what's going on here. So, basically, it's not the extremely repetitive, grindy live service elements like Invasion that go on for 10 to 12 hours to complete. It's not the extreme lack of customization, the extreme over-monetization filled with microtransactions costing $5, $10 for everything. It's not the left-wing activism, it's not the fact that the gameplay is half-assed. You don't get tag team mode, but you don't get single player, you get this half-assed, like you're fighting with yourself and then half a person on top of that with the cameos. It's none of those things, it's the lobbies. Can you imagine if Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had better lobbies? It would have sold $1 billion. I mean, it would have been such a success, because that's the problem, clearly. I don't mean to hate on this guy, I really don't. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it just goes to show you why these hardcore people like Maximilian are not people you should listen to when it comes to things like that. Because they have the blinders on, they can't see outside of themselves. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. His opinion is fucking retarded. I'm sorry, it is. It fucking is. It's a stupid way to look at it. There's so many bigger problems than a lack of lobbies. That's the least of your problems. And on top of everything else, the game is just so passionless. I mean, you can see right through it. There's zero passion in this game. Every character barely gets 2 outfits, 3 if you grind invasion modes like crazy, and everything else you've got to spend all the money from your wallet. I mean, one skin can be $5 to $10. So basically, you're gonna be spending money like a mobile game. For fuck's sakes, League of Legends skins, a free-to-play game, are cheaper than this fucking thing. And people are saying, well, they made a lot of money with microtransactions.
But even if Mortal Kombat 1 did undersell MK11 in terms of copies, I have no doubt that due to all the DLC, costumes, and other content, it had to have made more money than Mortal Kombat 11. And furthermore, it definitely made more money than the other fighting games, or at least most of them. Maybe Tekken 8 made more money, but I would be surprised, honestly. I do think Mortal Kombat 1 outsold every other fighting game.
I'm sorry, you unintelligent dickhead, but no, they didn't. Just like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League didn't make a lot of money from microtransactions. Guess what? Do you want to know how many copies MK1 sold? 4 million barely. It sold 3 million basically around release and then soon after, and it stayed at 3 million forever. It just barely, right after the DLC and everything else, barely scratched 4 million. So it's literally barely sitting on 4 million. Meanwhile, MK11, 15 million. If you were to look right now, MK11 has more people playing it now than MK1. What the fuck does that tell you? Khaos Reign, a huge major DLC for a AAA game, has 100 reviews on Steam. 100 reviews. Do you have any idea how low that is? How many people bought this thing? Like 1,000 people? 2,000? 5,000? That's nothing. That's nothing. Nobody bought it. And how could you? $60 so you can get a shitty alternative of Marvel. You can get Havoc collecting Infinity Stones running around. Why would you pay for that? Why would you pay for a cheap knockoff of Marvel? With multiverses and bullshit where every character who gets killed means nothing because there's like 50 of them. Like, remember when character deaths used to mean something because you only had one of them and you couldn't replace them, and if they're dead, they're fucking dead? I mean, sure, you could bring them back as a zombie, but at least it was different. It's not like you can get 50 of them from every single fucking multiverse and universe like you can now. I mean, what is the point of Mortal Kombat if every character can be replaced like that? It doesn't make any sense. It's a bad story, it's bad gameplay, no customization, over monetization. It's everything people hate about modern gaming. And Mortal Kombat 1 will kill the franchise. I will stand by that. You think 4 million is low? Watch the next Mortal Kombat game, see how much that makes. And by the way, you're getting that game very soon. You know why? Because David Zaslav, in all his glory, has spoken about the fact that he only cares about 4 franchises: Mortal Kombat, Batman, Hogwarts Legacy, and Game of Thrones. These are the only 4 franchises that he gives a damn about when it comes to gaming. So right after this embarrassment of a Mortal Kombat game, you're getting a brand new Mortal Kombat game. Except NetherRealm will have a much smaller budget, a lot less people, and a lot less time to complete that next Mortal Kombat. I wonder how that will work out. I'm guessing same way that Rocksteady's new Batman game will work out. I can't wait for the new microtransactions, I can't wait for the shitty story by left-wing activists, and I can't wait for it to fall flat on its face like every single project from WB. But until that happens, I will be Wild Gold, and I will thank you oh so very much for watching.